Cora, please don't knock it. Cora. Come here. See, it will wobble. You don't need to talk to it. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the long-awaited cat books reading vlog. So if you didn't know, I have been wanting to do this vlog for ages and ages and ages, but I've been putting off reading the books for this vlog. It was a few months ago now I did my cat books TBR video, and it's basically just me talking about a bunch of books that are about cats that are on my physical TBR. I put 3 of those on my November and December TBR to read before the end of 2022, and it is now Boxing Day, the 26th of December, and I still have not started this vlog. I feel like we're going to end up carrying over into the new year, but if we do, that's fine. It is Boxing Day, yesterday was Christmas, and I did start one of the books finally. So before I tell you about what that book is about, my thoughts and feelings on it, I'm just going to run you through the 3 books that I'm going to read in this vlog. So first we have the Travelling Cat Chronicles, which is by Hiro Arikawa. These are all kind of literary fiction type stories. This one in particular is about a cat called Nana, and he is on a road trip with his beloved Satoru. And it's kind of just a story of them together, I think. It says it's got a backdrop of changing seasons, so I feel like it's going to span a pretty big period of time. It's also Japanese translated fiction, if you couldn't tell. I am very excited to read this, especially since I've already started one of the other books on this TBR for the vlog. Next, we have Cats of the Louvre, which is by Taiyo Matsumoto, and this is a manga about cats in the Louvre in France. I keep saying this, I don't have a synopsis for this. I've still not looked one up, and I'm not going to at this point. There is no synopsis on this really beautiful fancy edition that I have here. It's just a manga about cats in the museum, I believe. I have had a flick through, and some of the artwork has got me very intrigued. So this is another one that I'm going to be reading in this vlog. And then the last one is The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke, Natsukawa, and I have already started this. Thoughts so far, I'm really loving it. I'm 100 pages in. It is so good. So all of these books are obviously like Japanese translated fiction, one of them's a manga. It was completely unintentional that most of the books that are on my cat books TBR are Japanese translated fiction. It just so happens that a lot of books about cats are written by Japanese people. So this is about Rintaro. His grandfather has just died and he has inherited his grandfather's bookshop. And one evening, he hears the bell go on the door even after he's closed, and he's like, who is this? And a little cat, whose name escapes me, is in the shop. And the cat says to him, hey you, I need you to come and help me save some books. And Rintaro is just like, what is going on? Why is this cat talking? And the cat takes Rintaro on his first labyrinth. I think there's going to be 4 in total, where he has to complete a task basically to save books. So I've read 2 of these labyrinths so far. The first one, the person was keeping books locked up, and then in the second one the person was cutting up books. And when the 2 kind of villains explain why they're doing what they're doing, you can kind of see their perspective. So the first person was like, I'm keeping my books safe, I'm protecting them, I'm keeping them in a good condition. And then the second person was like, I want to help people read more books by helping them to speed read, by condensing these books down to like 1 or 2 sentences. And you can kind of see the thought behind it, and it's definitely given me a different outlook on how I'm going to read and consume books in the future. So the first one made me think, well, I own a lot of books and I try to keep them in a really good condition, but I'm not loving them in the sense that I'm not just reading them as a book. Like, it's just a book. You don't need to keep it in a mint condition and keep it locked away behind a glass case. And then the second guy was like, you know, I want to help people read more by helping them speed read. But when you speed read, when you read really quickly to get through a book, you lose its meaning, you lose the feeling behind it. And especially for like me this year, I feel like I've been a victim of keeping books in mint condition and speed reading books because I want to read a lot of books. And already this is changing my outlook on how I'm going to be reading books, and it's just what I needed at the end of the year when I've been in a pretty big reading slump. The book itself is definitely more about books than about the cat and about cats. The cat is a very minor part of the story, at least so far. I'm very interested to see how it's going to carry on. It is such a quick read. Like, I started it last night and I'm already 100 pages in. The chapters are like fairly long, but each chapter is like a self-contained like labyrinth, you know, trying to save one of the books type story, so you don't really feel like it's a slog to get through the long chapters. It is a bit like a collection of short stories almost, where each chapter is like a story in itself, but they do interconnect. I don't know as well if it's just because of the translation. The writing for me is a little bit disjointed, but I think that is just because it's translated, and when you read something not in its native language, it does lose a little bit of the emotion behind it, I think, because the translator doesn't necessarily know what like the author themselves was kind of trying to convey, I guess, while they were writing, you know, if you know what I mean. But I'm really loving this so far. I'm very excited to get to the next 2 books on this TBR I've got for this little vlog for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed the vlog and seeing me talk about these books and my thoughts behind them. I will also like be giving you guys ratings and stuff as well while I read these books. But yes, it's been so long since I've done a vlog for you guys, I feel. I think the last time I vlogged was during Spoopathon in October, and I did kind of fall off the bandwagon a little bit when I was making the editing the vlogs. Like, had everything filmed, it was just a case of editing it, and as you know, in November I wasn't very well, and I just didn't want to edit, you know, everything. But I was like, I have these vlogs filmed, I want to upload them for you, even if the last one went up in December and it was meant to be October. So yeah, it is Boxing Day today. I am hoping to finish this today. I feel like if I read it in 2 more sittings or 3 more sittings, I can probably finish it. It is a very short book. It's only like maybe 220 pages, if that, so I feel like it's going to be a very quick read, and then I'm going to start probably the manga next, because I know that's going to be another relatively quick read. And it's just the Traveling Cat Chronicles. I know is going to take me a little bit more time to get through. It's not only longer, but the text on the page is a lot smaller than The Cat Who Saved Books. So I feel like this one is going to end up being carried over into the new year if I don't get the chance to just sit and read like between now and like New Year. But I would really like to finish all of these books at the end of 2022, so I can have that clean slate for the new year and start on my whatever my January TBR is going to be. I have 2 videos filmed that I really need to edit soon. I need to film and edit my January-February TBR video. The TBR Scrolls is going to be coming back for that, and I'm going to be like changing a couple of the rules. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. I'm very excited for like the new year in general. I just really like, I need to get my shit together. But today I'm spending Boxing Day with my dad. We kind of spend Christmas with like either of my parents differently, me and my brother. So Christmas this year we spent with my mum, and today Boxing Day I'm going to spend with my dad. We're going to go out for our Boxing Day meal, which I've never done before, so I'm very excited to do that. And I'm just going to spend some time with him, but when I come back home I'm hoping to get some reading done in the evening, so I'm going to be doing that today. I will try and get a little bit of footage for you, but because it's still kind of the Christmas season, I want to spend it with my family and not be like looking through a camera lens. Also, expect a lot of b-roll footage of my cats in this vlog. I'm gonna try and get some, because I know you guys love to see my cats, so I'm gonna try and get lots of b-roll footage of them. We got them a lot of Christmas presents yesterday, and I kind of wish that I'd like filmed them playing with them, like opening them for the first time so that you guys could see it. I've got 6 of them if you're new here, and so I feel like it's very appropriate for this cat books vlog, for like footage of my cats to go with it. So I'm gonna go and get on with my day, and I will update you later when I've read a little bit more of this book.
Happened. This is not a Christmas. This is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas. was just a boy. Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the...
Hey everyone, so a little reading update. I have just finished The Cat Who Saved Books, and of course it's 5 stars. I really loved it. It was kind of more of the same after I updated you last time. We had 2 more labyrinths that the main character had to kind of battle through. It's not necessarily like battle in like a Percy Jackson sense, you know, he has to convince the villain of those labyrinths to stop doing what they're doing to books. So in the 3rd labyrinth, he is at a publishing house and the like CEO of the company is just pumping out books that don't really have any real meaning, and they're like quick reads for people to satisfy very quick cravings and stuff, and it's creating a lot of waste. And so our main character kind of convinces him like why that's not a good thing. And then there is one more labyrinth, which I won't go into too much detail about because it is kind of a little of a bonus one, but it does go into depth of like people give books souls. And I really love that idea that like when you see a book in a bookshop, it's new, it's fresh, and it's literally just like words printed on paper that have been bound up. And then when you take that book home and you read it, you give that book a soul. And this book also talks a lot about giving books power by reading them, and I just love that idea. And it's kind of made me think about how like in a library it's a very different environment to a bookstore, I think, because all of the books in a library I feel already have a soul and already have power given to them because they've been read so many times by so many different people. And I loved it. I just loved the whole idea behind the books and like the way that the different labyrinths kind of talked about books. And it's just completely changed my outlook on reading. And like I'm definitely going to go into the new year with a different outlook and think I don't have to read like loads of books really quickly to like meet stats and stuff. It's about how much I enjoy those books that I'm reading and how those books make me feel and like what they teach me or whatever, you know. And I don't know, I just feel like this book has completely changed my life, and it's just what I needed right at the end of the year. So I can go into the new year with like a fresh outlook on like how I want to approach reading and stuff. So yeah, please read this book. I posted something on Instagram, my Instagram story, just talking about like how this book was making me feel, pretty much what I've told you guys. And 2 people have messaged me to say that they bought the book just based on my recommendation. So it was Catherine and Christy. So I hope you guys like the book, and I hope somebody else picks up this book after seeing my video, because I loved it. It was fantastic. So yeah, so with the cat as well, the cat is kind of a minor character in this. The cat is what lets Rintaro kind of enter this weird labyrinth universe, and the cat is very sassy, which I love. But the cat is a very minor character. We don't really learn much about him, and I realised there was an author's note at the very end, there was a translator's note at the very end of the book saying that in Japanese they don't really use pronouns at least in prose. And so the translator was saying that she wasn't really sure like the gender of the cat, because in the Japanese original version the cat is not like referred to as a boy or a girl. And so I've like kind of assumed that the cat is a boy based on the way that he spoke, but I really liked that the translator at the end said you can kind of make up your own mind on like what gender the cat is or isn't. So I really like that little detail. But yeah, so the cat was a very minor character in the book, but I really loved that the story itself was about books, and it's made me want to read more books about books. I have a few that are on my TBR. The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heep is one of them that comes to mind, and I also really would like to read The Book Eaters. I don't have a copy of it at present, but I really want to read that one as well. But yeah, I just love this. Please pick it up. It was fantastic. So yeah, yesterday was Boxing Day. I went to see my dad and we kind of did our like Christmas with him. And he did get me a few things that are cat related, so I wanted to show you guys what they are because of the whole cat books vlog. So every single year for, I don't even know how long it's been going on for, but he's always gotten me a little desk calendar with cats on it every single year. And I think that if he ever stopped doing it, I would be very disappointed, because it's like I expect my cat calendar now. So yeah, I have a new cat calendar 2023, and it will be sitting on my desk in my office, because it's a little bit bigger than the ones that I've had in the past, which I tend to just keep in my bedroom. But this one I'll be having in my little office on my desk, which is what you guys are sat on right now. So yeah, I've got a picture of a cat for every day of the year, which I'm very, very excited about. He also got me some earrings with cats on. I think they are so adorable. So that's what they look like. They are handmade from a little shop in Northumberland, which is like my dad's favourite place in the UK. So they're very cute. And then he got me a cat face mask, and there's a pair of socks as well, but I've left them upstairs, which has like the same pattern on it. But this is a cat face mask, so I think I'm going to be doing this face mask for this vlog. Kind of Gavin style. I feel like it would be hilarious. So I'm hoping to do that probably tomorrow, and when I do some more reading, because I just think it's gonna be so funny and very, very appropriate for this vlog. So those are a few things that my dad got me for Christmas. I'm gonna do a Christmas like end of the year book haul at some point as well. I didn't ask for any books for Christmas, but I got a few from gift exchanges from Patreons. I always enter like or join in with Spoops and Rose Patreon gift exchanges when they do those. So I'll be showing you the books that I got those in a little book haul. I'm also going to go shopping with my brothers tomorrow for like the last like bank holiday Boxing Day sales, so I'm hoping to pick up a few books then as well. But the next book that I'm going to read for this vlog is going to be Cats of the Louvre by Taiyo Matsumoto. So this is the one that I don't know anything about, and it is the manga. So I'm very, very excited to get to this. I don't know if I'm going to get to it tonight. We're going to go play a board game in a bit as a kind of last bank holiday thing to do together. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to start this tonight, but I'll definitely start tomorrow. But it is quite a long book because it's a manga. It should be relatively quick to read. But yeah, this will make my 90th book of the year. I have never read this much in one year in my entire life before. And I know I just talked about how like the Cat Save books made me think like I don't have to read like loads to feel like a reader, I guess. But it's incredible, I think, that I've managed to read nearly 90 books in a year, and so I should definitely read this before the end of the year. And the fact that like I will have read 90 books is like wild to me. I don't know if I'm gonna reach that amount again next year. I would like to at least like beat it, even if it's by one book. I always kind of want to read more than I did in the previous year, but at the same time, like I want to read longer books in the future, and I want to spend more time reading books that are longer, because a lot of the genres that I enjoy, those books just tend to be longer, and so I will naturally read less books but more pages, I suppose. So I don't know, we'll see what happens in 2023, but yeah, this is when I'm going to start next. I think the artwork on the outside is absolutely stunning. The spine I just think is gorgeous with the little cat's face, but the artwork on the inside is very, very different. So I'm very intrigued to see how I get on with the art style. For me, when I read graphic novels, the art style does have a very big part to play, in the same way that like writing style does. Like if I can't get on with the writing style of a book, I tend to not enjoy it as much, and it's the same with graphic novels. Like if I don't like the art style, I generally tend to avoid them. But it was just literally the cover of this and the fact that it's about cats, like, that I picked it up. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about the art style having like flicked through. I'm very intrigued to see what the story itself is going to be and if I enjoy it. So I'm going to end this little update here for you, and I will get back to you when I have probably finished The Cats of the Louvre. You're in my bathroom because I'm gonna go and put the face mask on and talk to you about the book that I'm reading, Cats of the Louvre. So yeah, I started it and I'm halfway through. I think it was originally published in 2 volumes as 2 manga, and this is like a bind up of those 2. So I've just finished part 1, and it's kind of bizarre. So basically it is literally about cats who live in the Louvre. There's a bunch of different ones. They live in the attic. It's a big secret, and it's literally just about them like living in this attic. But when the scenes focus just on them, they become kind of anthropomorphic, but I think in reality they still just look like cats. But it's really strange when they become kind of human cat hybrids. So we're kind of following these cats in the Louvre, and it mainly focuses on Snow Baby, who is the tiny white kitten on the cover, who keeps disappearing because he can actually go into paintings. And then we're also following the humans, and there's this guy who's worked there like his whole life, and like his family worked there when he was young, and his sister went missing because she can also go into painting. So I think the whole story itself is going to be about Snow Baby finding this guy's sister. But it's a bit odd. It's a lot of, oh my god, it's really drippy. It's a lot of like just kind of panels that focus just on like the artwork in the Louvre. And it's, you know, it's all right, but it's definitely not the kind of story I would normally have picked up. Oh my god, it's really drippy. Okay. I never know if there's meant to be a right way round with these. It smells so good though. It smells like sweets, like, I don't know, kind of citrusy, I guess, but it smells really yummy. It's kind of not as horrifying as I thought it was going to be. I probably shouldn't speak to you guys because you're not supposed to move when you have a face mask on, and I don't want it to slip off. But yes, we're at the end of part 1 with the book, and it is just kind of strange, to be honest. None of the characters are particularly likable, apart from the naked cat, and Snow Baby himself. But like, I really don't like that there's a black cat and they've portrayed it as the villain either. Like, it's very stereotypical. I'm very fond of black cats, as you guys know. I have like 3.5. I'm gonna go and read some more of this while this sits on my face, because it's kind of getting difficult to speak to you with the face mask on. It's really because I'm bending down and I feel like it's sliding off my face. So I'll see you guys in a bit. I've just cooked a really big curry for tonight and my eyes are really sore from the chopping of the onions. So I haven't been crying, I've been chopping onions. Last night I did finish Cats of the Louvre. I've decided to rate it 3 stars. It was just too weird and artsy for me. I feel like I can compare it to one of those like really pretentious artsy films. I just, yeah. The second part, I feel like not a lot happened. Like most of the plot advancement is in the first part, and then the second part, like, it could have just been like a couple of chapters really. We carry on with the cat that can go into paintings, and stuff happens as a result of that. This is the kind of book where I feel like you are supposed to just look at the pictures rather than read the story. It's funny with graphic novels for me because I'm very much someone who doesn't really just sit there and look at what's going on in a panel if I don't really like the art style, and I don't really like the art style in this book. But yeah, it was just okay. It was very artsy-fartsy. A little bit of like magical realism in there with the fact that the cat can go into paintings. 3 stars. It was just okay. Definitely not my favourite book of this vlog. It was alright, but I'm glad that I gave myself a chance to try something a bit different. I know that I won't pick up from this artist again or this writer again, Taiyo Matsumoto. Like, I won't pick up from them again. And I know that like the purpose of this book, I feel, was to kind of be something for the Louvre. Like, I'm sure I've seen on Goodreads like it says something that like it was part of a series that the Louvre like commissioned to be written, but I don't know. I mean it is like nice in parts where there's like a scene in the Louvre and like Taiyo Matsumoto has like drawn this part of the Louvre when like something is going on in there, so like the characters might be discussing something, then you've got like a painting in the background, and it's like you could picture that at part of like the museum. But I've never been to the Louvre, and I don't particularly have an interest in art and art history. I'd like to see the Mona Lisa just to say I've seen the Mona Lisa, but I don't particularly care about art. I definitely read this more for the cats, and I enjoyed seeing the cats in the Louvre, but there was never really an explanation of why they live there. At the very start of the book, it kind of says like, cats have always lived in the Louvre and nobody knows where they came from. That's not an explanation. Why are they there? Why does nobody, like the guy who keeps going to feed them, why doesn't he like take them home and rehome them and stuff? Like, what, they are like stray cats and they've all banded together to get off the streets so that they're safe, and that's why they live in the Louvre. And this guy, I can't remember his name, it's the one whose sister went missing. He is like looking after them and keeps them fed. Why don't they take them somewhere where they can like have a home? Like the cats don't particularly like each other, they just live together because they can, like, to keep each other safe. It's a bit like a feral cat colony, but they're not feral cats because they're fed by people. And a couple of the cats, like Snow Baby and the hairless cat, I can't remember his name, like they are quite nice. But the rest of the cats are like just arseholes, which is fine, like they can have that as their personality, but I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it. I just didn't enjoy it that much. I liked looking at the like pictures of the cats. I also liked the idea of like the cats being able to go into the painting, but that was it. That was all I really liked, so yeah, 3 stars. And then last night I did start my final book of this vlog, which is The Travelling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa, and I'm already in love with it. So I think this was the one that I did put on my TBR Scrolls TBR, and it was for the prompt to read a book with a non-human main character, and this definitely 100% fits that because it's from the perspective of the cat Nana. I've only read the prologue so far and I'm just already in love with it. I feel like it's going to be a very emotional book. So in the prologue, it's Nana just talking about how he got his name, and he was a stray cat, and he used to just like lounge on top of this silver van, and this guy who I think must own the van just came along and fed him one day, and then they kind of had this mutual relationship where like Nana would let him stroke him if the guy gave him some food. And then one day Nana gets hit by a car and he's broken his leg, and he says that like usually if he has an injury he can just like let it heal on its own, but this he knew he was in trouble, and so he the first thing he could think of to do was to call for help from the guy that had been feeding him. So he helps him, he takes him to the vet. Nana stays inside for a few weeks while his leg is healing, and Nana kind of assumes that once he feels better like he has to go, and the guy, I can't remember what his name name is, Satoru. Satoru says to him, you could stay here if you want, you could be my pet. And so Nana's like, okay, and that's when he gets his name, and it's so sweet. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how the rest of it is going to carry on. I feel like I'm going to really love this one. Yet another one by a Japanese author, as you guys know, but that's kind of like what's happened with a lot of the cat books that I own. They all just happen to be written by Japanese people. So I'm very excited to carry on with this one. I do need to do some filming today. I'm going to be filming my January TBR today, so I'm very excited to do that. But hopefully I will find some time in the evening to get some reading done, because I would really love if I could finish this book before the end of the year. I have today, tomorrow and the 31st left to do that, and I feel like because it is a relatively quick like paced read and it's not too long, I feel like I can finish this. Also, yes, Cats of the Louvre, it was my 90th book of the year, so I can't believe that. I can't believe I've read 90 books this year. Like, it's the most amount that I have read in an entire year, in my entire life. I'm very pleased, and I just want to keep going. So this will hopefully be number 91. It will probably be my final read of the year. I also think it's quite funny that I said in my end of the year book tag, like, I was so convinced that I was not going to find like a book that was going to surprise me or could become a new favourite, and I feel like the Cat Who Saved Books and this one are definitely like going to be up there as like new favourite books. I loved the Cat Who Saved Books so much, and I feel like I'm going to really love this one as well. So I'm gonna get on with my filming today. I feel like I'm getting really congested and I don't know why, so I really hope that stops. And yeah, so I will catch you guys later when I have a reading update for you. Happy New Year! I am here to wrap up the vlog because I have finished the Travelling Cat Chronicles. I gave this one 5 stars as well. I absolutely loved it. It is the story of Nana and his owner Satoru as they travel around to see Satoru's friends. There isn't really an explanation as to why Satoru is doing this at the start of the book. And then you get to the final chapter and it's all revealed. And it's very emotional. This book did make me cry a lot. It was heartbreaking, and I kind of saw what was coming about partway through the book, and I did have my suspicions at the very start of the book as well. But it still got me. It still got me good. I love the way it's told because it's very much from the perspective of the cat. We do have perspective, like a general third person perspective as well, where we see sort of backstories about Satoru and his friends, but most of it is from the perspective of the cat, and I love the cat's sarcastic nature and the kind of way that the cat like world is explained. Like the cat can communicate with other animals, which I really loved, and the cat can fully understand what Satoru is saying, which I absolutely loved. And it's about the relationship of a pet and their owner, and it's so sad. It was just so sad. I absolutely loved it. I can't recommend it enough. It was such a perfect way to end my reading year, and yeah, I just can't believe like how much I've enjoyed 2 of the 3 books that I read in this vlog. I didn't think that I was going to enjoy any book quite this much for the end of the year. I'm very, very pleasantly surprised. I'm really looking forward to doing another installment to this vlog series. I have 3 more cat books that I would like to read at the moment, and I'm hoping to get some more in the future as well, so that I can do like a 3rd installment to the vlog series as well. But I've had such a blast reading these books. I didn't think that cat books were gonna be my niche, but I feel like they are, which is not a surprise. Like I love cats, but the kind of books that I generally like to read are like high fantasy, and these little translated fiction about cats have been absolutely wonderful to read. I know that the first one, The Cat Who Saved Books, wasn't really about cats, it was more about books with a cat in it, so that was a very different read to this one and Cats of the Louvre, but I still really loved it. I just, yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this book other than I really enjoyed it, and it was really sad. It was just such a nice story, the way it was told. Apparently there is a movie of it as well, which I can imagine is just as sad as the book. It's funny because literary fiction is just not something that I've ever really been that interested in, but I clearly have a little niche in literary fiction that I'm very interested in, which is books about cats. I'm wondering if like there are any other cat books out there that aren't translated. Most of the ones that I have seen are written by Japanese authors. But if you guys have any suggestions for books that are about cats in this kind of style, not just necessarily like a cat is a big character in it, like Nevermore for example, then please let me know in the comments. I want to keep doing this as a vlog series, and like I said, I have 3 more to read for a 2nd installment, and I'm hoping to get some more in the future. So yeah, that is it for the vlog. I really hope you enjoyed it and seeing my thoughts on all these different books about cats, and also seeing the b-roll of my cats as well. They have been absolute menaces this past week, if I'm being quite honest. I think it's a combination of the excitement of there being lots of people in the house, and also the catnip we got for Christmas. That's just kind of constantly floating around. They walk into a room, they get a whiff of it, and they just go batshit crazy. But that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books that I talked about in this video and what you thought of them. If you haven't already and you would like to, please do consider subscribing. I post a new video every single week. And that's it from me today. Bye!